A study published on February 2022 by the Pan-African Journal of Medicine showed that 89.9% of tertiary students from the southwest region of Cameroon, specifically in Buea, reported a lifetime use of substance. This is followed by Douala in the littoral region of Cameroon, where substance abuse is also significant concern, particularly among youths. This has gotten worse in the past years. Youths with bright futures living on the streets, families torn apart, and relationships broken. I have spoken with many people struggling with drug addiction. Most don't believe or know there is a place like rehabilitation center in Cameroon where they can go to for treatment. Today I will be talking with Fonbe Hedwig, who is a mental health specialist and founder of Living Vine Medical Rehabilitation and Training Center. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Please, can you tell us about yourself?
Thank you. I am Fonbe Hedwig, as you rightly said, and I'm married. I have three boys. All of them are into the medical field as well. My wife is Mariama. My first son is Ronald. The second one is Divine. The third one is Favor. And we have other adopted children with us, living with us. I did my specialty in psychiatry rehabilitation, and I hold a master's degree in marital and family therapy. Also specializing in substance abuse treatment, and that is basically what I can say about myself.
Okay, please can you tell us about your institution and the services you provide?
Living Vine Medical Rehabilitation and Training Center is a detox center for persons who are addicted to drugs, as well as persons who have chronic or, let's say, mental disorders. That is basically the target for the Living Vine Medical Rehabilitation Training Center, dealing with mental health issues that affect our daily lives.
Okay, when did you start this institution and what inspired you?
Thank you very much, Rene. I lived and studied in the United States of America, specifically in Texas, for about 8 years. And it was then that I got enrolled in mental health training. And I work with the U.S. Intensive Mental Health Division, specifically in Tarrant County, where I did my clinical training, I did my classroom training, and I saw the treatment working for persons I was engaged with like magic. So I began thinking back home, where I'm coming from in Cameroon, and seeing that there are persons who are dealing with this drug addiction, even in my family, and also suffering with mental conditions. And I could not do better than to write a resignation letter to the services I was working in and ask them to support me back in Cameroon to bring this package, because given that it was a very big government service with different departments, having substance abuse, division of disability, care of those of children, care of the elderly. I wanted this complete package in Cameroon. So they were so surprised that I could take that decision, and a good number of them said, wow, Hedwig, if you can take that decision and you love your country, we support you. That's how I got inspired to come back to Cameroon and initiate these services.
Oh, okay. I know you also train mental health nurses. Please, can you tell us about this program and what it takes to get into the program and how long it goes?
Yeah, thank you. When you look at the statistics of persons on drug addictions and persons with mental illnesses, the work is very heavy, and everybody needs mental health services, and we know that we have a good number of our nurses who are trained in universities, in professional schools. And what Living Vine is doing, we have a vocational training institute wherein we bring in nurses, and these nurses come in, they do courses in clinical psychology, okay, and we also bring in social workers or persons with psychology who do mental health. Persons with special education degrees, they come in and they do mental health therapy. We have persons who can come in with A levels and we do courses in psychiatric aid. We have persons who can come in with O levels and we do courses in substance abuse. We have child care, and all these specialties intended to target issues surrounding mental health conditions and persons with families to help them be able to manage the conditions within their families.
Okay. I know you offer many services at your institution, but today we are going to focus on substance abuse and drug addiction. As a mental health specialist, please can you tell us why and how drugs affect the human body and why it's very difficult to quit when someone is already addicted to it?
Thank you, Rene. You know, it is habits form. The statement goes, "Our habits form thy heart." And with drug addiction, it starts with initial use, and then from initial use, the brain derives some pleasure. And what happens in the brain is that with repeated use, somebody now begins to gain tolerance for the drug. Okay, which means that the brain can now be tolerating more of that drug, so that you can still feel that pleasure. And at some point, it changes your brain chemistry as you continue with heavy amount of the drug, and it could be alcohol, could be marijuana, could be cocaine, it could be cigarette, whatever that trigger the neurons in the brain. So as you keep using it, your brain now physically depends on the drug, so much so that you cannot stay without using that drug. And when it is happening like that, the person now begins to use the drug without the ability to control, and that's where addiction comes in. And with the longer the use, the more changes in the brain chemistry. For some people, they begin to hear some voices, or they begin to feel low motivation. All that they require or need in life is to pursue the drug. And for some people, it causes them to do anything. Maybe it's to lie, it's to steal, it's to absent from school, absent from work, just in pursuit of the drug. And when it is happening like that, the person is already out of control. And without the detox, to remove the facility to detox the person, to remove the toxin or the drugs from the person's body, the person cannot just say, "I'm done with the drug," and give up, because the brain is already physically depending on that drug and controlling the person.
Okay, from what you said, I can see you said the longer you take the drugs, the more dependent you become.
That's right.
So it's easier for someone who has been taking for 2 years to quit than someone who has been taking for 10 years.
Correct. And the earlier somebody initiate himself in the drug and seek treatment, the better. And when somebody persists in taking the drug for a very long time, this could result to not only drug addiction, it could come in with some comorbid psychiatric conditions. And this will now be requiring maybe some kind of long life treatment, or it might require a very long-term treatment before the person can be able to quit the drug.
Okay. For the clients you admit in your center, how long do they stay before you discharge them?
Yeah, the duration of stay in the Living Vine Rehabilitation Center, like any other one, is dependent on the individual cases. If somebody comes in who has been in drug for some few months, he will not stay longer like the person who has been in for 1 year or for some years. However, the time frame that the drug can completely, somebody's brain can completely be normal, and someone can be safely withdrawn from the drug takes from 3 months. Okay, within a month your body can be detoxed, even within weeks it can be detoxed. But now the issue is you are still very vulnerable, okay, and you need that resilience, which means that you need that environment that you stay safe out of drug. And the longer you stay in a safe environment out of drug, the better for your recovery. And so patients who have been in drug for a very short time, let's say a month or months to a year, they can take shorter time. But patients who have been in it for maybe years, they need at least 3 months to completely, have the ability to control themselves. And in some cases, it can run years, depending on whether there are other associated factors with the drug addiction.
Okay. Do you also receive students in your treatment center?
With the instruction you are giving, is an alarming rate of, it's an alarming condition that we have young dynamic youths, okay, from 12 to, let's say, 30, who are on drugs, which is a very concerning situation for our country and for families. And we receive students from various colleges in the city here, even out of Baminda, and those from university, which it sounds an alarm that we need to be doing something to prevent, or else our youthful population that should be productive will become a danger to the family and to the society.
Okay. What age group is most affected by this drug crisis in the country?
Concerning drug, it's not been surprising, because in the US we have 12 to 17 years residential treatment where I worked in, and in this setting there are young people, 12 to 17 years, and this has happened in Cameroon. I have received youth from 12 to 30, let me put it that way, 30 years old. And so when you look at this age bracket, a majority of these youth who comes in with all kinds of drug addiction happens to fall between 20 and 30. And these are supposed to be youth at the prime of their lives, youth who are very intelligent, productive, and now into drug is a cause for concern, and something that needs to be handled with swift and with rigor to make sure that they are completely treated to abandon drug life.
On average, how many patients do you receive in a month?
Monthly, different months varies, but normally we don't receive less than 40 patients, 40 clients, okay, who comes in, either for consultation, review, and then if you add to the number of families who are coming in for consultation to check up with different challenges they are facing, the number can increase. We attend to them every month.
That's about it.
Yeah.
In your opinion as a specialist, what do you think is the cause of so many youths getting into drugs?
Yeah, the causes of youth in getting into drug addiction varies, just like the youth themselves are different from different backgrounds. Some factors have to do with peer pressure. Some youths come out from very good families, but when they get into universities or in school, they interact with peers who are into drugs, so they want to fit into that peer group, they start using. Some ongoing stress, the crisis that prevented some youth from going to school. We have received youth at Living Vine who say because they were not going to school, they had friends in the neighborhood who were smoking, and because they joined with them, they started smoking. And then those who are into risky behavior, like this ongoing fight, war going on, some have taken drugs just to gain the courage to face the military. Okay, and then there are issues like genetic factors. Some youth have been exposed, maybe because their parents have had that vulnerability to have been into drugs. And then there are also environmental factors such as a place where they have early exposure to drugs. Okay, some youth come in from places where they are just around person using drug, and then they try it and they get hooked into it. So there are many factors. Some have various kinds of troubles, and maybe they want to get the courage to face those troubles. Somebody tells them, take this drug, and they take it, and it kind of give them some pleasure, and they will find it hard to live. So that's how some get into addiction.
Okay, so in your opinion, you think the Anglophone crisis has added to this problem?
Yes, like every other crisis in life, when it comes, everybody try by all means to see a method or a solution to it. And given that our youth are those who want life upbeat, they want to take risks and try things. The Anglophone crisis came in and exposed our youth to high risky behaviors, especially for those who have misguided our youth to get into fighting and to get into handling weapons, guns. This has caused the youth to face a lot of heavy stress. Being alert that they can be attacked or they want to attack the military. This involves a lot of drugs, okay, to cope with those kind of tensions and with those kind of anxieties that they are going through. So the Anglophone crisis has come in to really cause a heavy damage to our youth. And many of them who are into drug got into drug just because of this crisis. Before the crisis, in fact, we were seeing clients with drug addiction. But during this crisis, the increased rate of youth on drug addiction, there has been increased frequency of identifying or receiving youth with addiction, which shows that the earlier we cut off or we address this Anglophone crisis and we stopped it, the better for our youth. And the longer it prolongs, the more youths are going to get chronic into addiction, and the more other youths are going to just get wasted, because no crisis keep people mentally sound, and most of it the youth. Is going to damage our youth a lot. And it's my request and my plea to those concerned that it is time to really address, if we love our generation, we would like to leave something for our generation, we should call this war off, bring the youth to be detoxed and rehabilitated and settle them so that we can have a peaceful country like none before.
So many people are still ignorant and uninformed about the devastating drug crisis and its severity. As a mental health specialist, what advice can you give to the youths, parents, guardians, and Cameroonians regarding this drug crisis?
Thank you, Rene. I want to say that for every parent who loves their child, who wants to keep an inheritance for himself, and for a country that really loves to build the economy and to build a very strong system, we should prevent youth from getting into drugs. And if we have failed to prevent youth from getting into drugs, we must pay attention to get those who are already into drugs to detox them and consider the drug crisis seriously. There is no mental condition that can destroy the country, destroy the family, more than drug addiction. And if anybody is taking that for granted, it means that you don't consider your future, the future of your family, the future of the country seriously. So drug addiction is something that all the stakeholders have to come on board and see that we, in fact, together stand and rescue our youth who are playing around with the drugs. For those who are engaged into it, we bring them for detox. Living Vine is designed to handle all kinds of violent clients with drug addiction. And for those who are not yet into drug addiction, we warn them, we warn the parent, talk to their children, that they should be aware that drugs are dangerous and they can destroy their future.
So far, what has the government been doing to combat this disastrous crisis? And has the government been doing enough?
I would say, yeah, the government has given authorization, which is the government way of saying, now, okay, this guy is doing this, everybody can come there for help, and it's giving authorization for care and also for training, which I think that us the youth are the one who can assist the government in this, and I think the government is doing our best to see that we handle these issues as we are facing them.
There are parents out there with kids struggling with addiction, and they are kind of shy to be open about it. Or some just tell their kids to stop, to quit taking the drugs. As a specialist, you know it's very difficult to stop when you're already addicted. So what can you tell these parents?
Well, the message I can give the parents are that when you should observe your children very well. Once you see that the child is on drug, you will be talking and the child may be like, no, it's not a problem. And you keep talking. At some point the child may see, okay, maybe what my parents are saying is true. And for the parents who really care, don't allow the youth to themselves to decide that they will quit the drug. You need to seek counseling at that early stages. When you seek counseling at that early stages, you are very fortunate the child will be well preserved, their life, they will withdraw from drugs. But if they have already been into drugs long before you discover it, the only thing is you prepare their minds that at one point you take them for a rehabilitation, for them to be detoxed and rehabilitated. And if they are not accepting, you tell them. And if they are refusing, what you need to do is you invite the police to get them to a rehabilitation center. Because most of our clients, few of them, out of let's say 50 clients that we can have, about let's say 5 would have preferred to come for detox and rehabilitation. The rest of them, they are either brought forcefully by some security forces or some brought in by parents who manipulated the client for some other benefit before they came in. And so parents should not take it for granted. They should tell their children that this is a problem, and if you see that this is a problem, and seek help. Nobody should be shy of drug addiction because it's something that is common to every family, and especially successful family. You know, I was surprised that people who come into rehab out there, we are people from very well-to-do background. But back in Cameroon, it's still the same thing. But the unfortunate thing is that we need to normalize that and accept that it's a serious problem. Every family can face it, and nobody should be shy to seek help. It is a problem, and we must acknowledge that it is real. It can affect everybody. Nobody should be shy to seek help.
What is your experience with providing counseling services to individuals struggling with addiction?
Well, the addiction issue is something that I've worked with persons for a very long time, and the experience has been very interesting, because sometimes we tend to judge persons with drug addiction as immoral, or they are wicked, or they are bad. But when somebody tells you their story, how they got into drug addiction, you will see that it's nothing for him to be blamed for. It's not a crime that is committed. It's simply something that calls for attention, for need. Need for help. So it's not, drugs are not necessarily an evil thing per se. It's a disease or an illness condition that needs to be resolved. And that experience is something that people need to know. And you see somebody who is addicted to any substance, they just need help. And there's nothing to judge them about. They shouldn't be ashamed of it. Out there are places where people go to smoke and stuff, provided. You know, in our context, it's not done, but we tend to judge people negatively. But we have to accept everybody, be non-judgmental, and help them. stages of recovery or stages of addiction. Sometimes the initial phase where somebody is just getting into it through social use, and then they feel that pleasure in the brain. It leads to some kind of tolerance that they continuously use to arrive at the first use pleasure, and then of course they depend on it. And as they depend on this, they lost the control of giving up the drug, and it becomes something very serious for them to solve their personal problem. It becomes something like if they want to quit, they will die. They feel like there's no way they can quit. And so when you are talking about, I need to get you out of this, it's like, what are you talking about? Even though somebody is taking and it's costing them the family, it's costing them the job, it's costing them the school, but the issue is that they don't find it easy to quit. And so when somebody is refusing, I just look at the stage, the development, which stage are they? For those who are at the contemplation or contemplation stage, which they are wondering, is this truly a problem? Yeah, you talk to them with empathy, you talk to them with sympathy, you talk to them with encouragement. It's not something to be blaming them, because once you blame somebody, it becomes defensive. But when you start encouraging them and telling them that this is something very important, and going through rehab or going through detox, they will be supported, you will be assisted to safely withdraw. That can open them up to accept. But in some cases, when somebody totally refuses, know that it is the risk that he is thinking about abandoning the drug that is facing, and face a lot of maybe he might have attempted and faced some physical challenges, maybe body aches, pains, sleeplessness. You are telling him to abandon it and go into that situation, he will not accept. So you bring them now into the rehab. When you bring them into living vine rehab, we will engage with the individual. We will help them. We will move alongside with the person to help him safely withdraw from drug and have his body clean and strong.
Okay. So how do you help clients develop coping skills and strategies to manage cravings?
Yeah, you know, you can be somebody in the house who is taking drugs, but you will hardly see that they are very angry or they are violent, because they have the easy access to get out and take the drug when they have that craving. You know, but in the living vine rehab, where we have total cessation, we have this total it's a drug-free environment. It becomes a very tough thing for somebody who comes to that moment that they need to take the drug to handle. So that's why we have a lot of activities, we have a lot of schedule, we have routines that distract the clients, and we also have benzodiazepines that we help to give them, calm them down. We also have rubber rooms wherein when someone becomes so wild, very aggressive, we position them inside there to be by themselves and to be safe, to come to terms with what they are going through. And then we also give like counseling so that the person can understand what is it that is causing that craving, okay, to face, because it's not just about treating something you don't put a finger on it. What is it that is causing you to feel the need to use this drug? And in that case, you see that the person will open up and talk, and that will be a distraction from that craving, and it will become normal, and with time, those cravings will be reducing, and the person will be finding control to be able to stay without the drug. And that's how it works.
Okay. What are some of the most effective methods you have used to motivate clients to stay on track with their recovery goals?
Yeah, this thing needs a structure, generally, like I've said, when the person comes into the rehab in living vine, we ensure that the person is participating. When you are participating, we give you a score and awards. If you participate very well today, I can say, hey, I'm going to give you my phone, because the rehab is, you come in there, you don't have your phone, you don't have, your parents are not there with you. your loved ones are not there with you, you want to talk to them, I will say, well, that's good. Congratulations. If you get up on time, you fix your bed, and you attend the session, I give you the phone to use. Somebody listening that he wants to talk to his parents, he wants to talk to loved ones, they will be encouraged to say, okay, this thing they are talking about session, let me attend. Okay, when I attend now, I will get the phone to use. They will attend and get the phone to use. And sometimes we give motivation, we give them assignments. Okay, we've talked about maybe your parents being angry with you. Okay, write a letter of apology to your parents or to your loved one and say you are sorry. And when the person is doing that, we say, wow, this is recovery. We motivate them because that is something that they could not do before. Okay, and now they are able to realize that, okay, they need to connect with their loved ones. Maybe they need to see the reason they are here. They write a letter now. That is something, that's a strategy. We push them to think about participating and to take their treatment seriously. And in some cases, we say, okay, if you are participating in every activity as scheduled, you are going to leave the rehab faster. If you don't beat somebody, okay, if you don't involve in a fight, you are going to leave the rehab faster. Those are the strategies we implement to get clients, okay, in order and also to participate, which is not easy, especially someone who has been having addiction for a very long time. Once the craving comes, they can fight and destroy and even break out of the place. But with this assignment now, keeps them into following the routine and participating.
So how do you ensure that all clients receive equal access to care regardless of their financial status?
Well, yeah, I realize that in the US, everybody have access to services. And there's what they call scaling fee, wherein you come and you pay per your income. And those who don't have income, they come in and receive services paid by the government. But in our own context, we have what is called recovery costs. Those who come in, you find your level, because we have services at different levels. You want a level that you are more comfortable going through the process of treatment, whether you are at the private rooms or semi-private or general, we can give that, or you can opt for an outpatient. And in fact, outpatient is the cheapest level. But when it's involving addiction, it is never effective. But we encourage everybody to participate in treatment, especially at the early onset, so that it's more cheaper. And that's the way we can include everybody in the treatment. Otherwise, if your person is seriously addicted, you need inpatient, and it will cost a lot of money, which everybody needs to avoid that and hit this call, because there's no cheap rehab anywhere in the world. Even the government services that might not be as strict and under control like this private rehab, it is still expensive. So we want to call everybody to prevent and to start treatment early, and everybody can be involved in the treatment.
How do you handle a situation where a client has difficulty following through their treatment plan?
Yeah, the only way is encouraging them, not blaming them, motivating them, talking nicely to them, showing them the positive effect or the positive result that they will gain from the rehab, and then giving them the reason why they are in the rehab, the benefits. When you know the benefit of something, even if you are reluctant about it, you will come to engage it. So we try to point out the benefits of going through the rehab.
Okay. So how do you handle difficult conditions with clients, such as discussing the consequences of their actions?
Well, nobody with addiction cares about the consequences, you know. When somebody who is addicted, if he wants to destroy anything, he destroys. Regardless of the consequences, he doesn't even respect the law, he doesn't respect you. He can beat you up, he can destroy things. The only thing is that we make sure that our facility can accommodate those tendencies. Otherwise, if it is that you are talking to someone who's addicted, you need what the drug of choice, because people come in, they are taking alcohol, cigarette, marijuana, cocaine, all these kind of drugs. And so you want to tell them that this is not good, this and that. They will not listen to you. So the first thing is just to encourage them, put them in a safe place, and give them time. Because it's a matter of time that they begin to realize. It's not lecturing them that they should stop this thing now. They will automatically listen to you.
All right. So how do you keep up with new developments in the field of addiction treatment?
Well, Living Man is practicing the latest research that you find in the US. You know that I am the former employee of the US SAMHSA, that is Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, which is the largest health body or the government departments that ensure that people have mental health services and other brain-related services in the US, which research is ongoing. So I'm appraised with all of that. I'm connected in their network. So there's nothing out there that will be surprising me here. Because we have that network, all the latest research, all the latest interventions, we are adopting and living well. And we are appraised with the moving trend of development in this in this field of addiction and mental health care.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Radio
Thank
Cameroon.
you.
All right.